It was supposed to be a day of joy and celebration for the Kardashian Disick family. Kourtney Kardashian, the eldest of the famous Kardashian siblings, had taken her 14-year-old son Mason Disick on a fun-filled outing. But what was meant to be a carefree adventure quickly turned into a living nightmare. On a sunny afternoon last week, Kourtney and Mason were out running errands together. As they approached a busy intersection, Mason suddenly darted into the street, chasing after a ball that had rolled away. Before Kourtney could react, a speeding car came barreling around the corner, colliding with Mason at full force. Eyewitnesses on the scene described the ensuing chaos in horrific detail. Mason was thrown several feet, landing with a sickening thud on the pavement. Kourtney's anguished screams pierced the air as she frantically rushed to her son's side. Emergency responders were quickly on the scene, stabilizing Mason's condition before rushing him to the nearest trauma center. For the next several hours, Kourtney and the rest of the family anxiously awaited news of Mason's condition. Finally, the family was summoned to meet with the lead trauma surgeon. The news they received was nothing short of devastating. "I'm so sorry, but the damage to Mason's leg is catastrophic," the surgeon grimly reported. "The impact of the collision has caused severe crush injuries, with extensive bone and soft tissue damage. We've done everything we can, but I'm afraid amputation of the leg is the only way to save his life." Kourtney's world came crashing down in that moment. Her beloved son, her firstborn child, facing the prospect of losing a limb at just 14 years old. Tears streamed down her face as the gravity of the situation sank in. "How could this be happening?" Kourtney cried. "My poor baby. He doesn't deserve this. There has to be another way." The surgeon explained that while the decision was unimaginably difficult, it was the only way to prevent life-threatening complications and give Mason the best chance of survival and recovery. Reluctantly, Kourtney and the rest of the family agreed to authorize the amputation surgery. The next several hours were a torturous waiting game for the Kardashian Disick clan. As Mason underwent the complex and risky procedure, Kourtney paced the hospital corridors, her mind racing with a million different thoughts and emotions. "I keep replaying it in my head, that moment when the car hit him," Kourtney confided to her sisters Kim and Khloe. "If only I had been faster, if only I had grabbed him in time. This is all my fault." Kim and Khloe did their best to console their distraught sibling, reminding her that this was a freak accident beyond anyone's control. But Kourtney was inconsolable, racked with unbearable guilt and fear for her son's life. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the surgeon emerged from the operating room. The family held their breath, bracing themselves for the news. "The surgery was successful," the surgeon announced. "We were able to remove the damaged portion of Mason's leg and stabilize him. He's in critical condition, but he's holding his own. Now it's just a matter of the long road to recovery." Kourtney let out a shaky sigh of relief, but the worry in her eyes remained. Her son was alive, but at what cost? How would Mason cope with the loss of his leg? Would he ever be able to return to the active, vibrant life he had known? In the days that followed, Mason's recovery was slow and arduous. The young teen faced an excruciating physical and emotional journey, grappling with the life-altering changes to his body and his sense of self. At first, Mason was inconsolable, refusing to even look at the stark hospital room where his leg had once been. Kourtney stayed by his side around the clock, holding his hand and offering soothing words of comfort, but Mason remained withdrawn and despondent. "I just want my old life back," Mason would lament through tears. "Why did this have to happen to me?" Kourtney's heart broke for her son. She knew all too well the challenges he would face, the pain, the rehabilitation, the social stigma. As a mother, she desperately wished she could take his place, to absorb all of his suffering and spare him this unimaginable ordeal. But Mason was a fighter, and with the unwavering support of his family, he slowly began to regain his strength and determination. The physical therapy sessions were grueling, but Mason pushed himself to the limit, driven by a fierce resolve to one day walk again. "I'm not going to let this define me," Mason declared. "I'm going to show everyone that I'm still the same person, leg or no leg." Kourtney beamed with pride at her son's resilience, even as she worried about the long-term emotional toll the experience would take. She knew the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but she was determined to be by Mason's side every step of the way. As news of Mason's accident and amputation spread, the Kardashian-Jenner clan rallied around Kourtney and her son. Siblings Kim, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie visited the hospital frequently, bringing gifts, words of encouragement, and their unwavering love and support. Even matriarch Kris Jenner, known for her steely composure, was visibly shaken by the devastating news. She spent countless hours at Mason's bedside, stroking his hair and whispering soothing words of comfort. "Our family has been through so much, but we always come out stronger on the other side," Kris told Kourtney. "Mason is going to get through this, and we'll be there for him every step of the way." The extended Kardashian-Jenner network of friends, colleagues, and loyal fans also rallied behind Mason. Thousands of messages of love and support flooded the family's social media accounts, with people from all walks of life sharing their own stories of overcoming adversity. "Mason, you're an inspiration to us all," read one touching message. "Keep fighting, and know that you have a whole community lifting you up." Kourtney was deeply moved by the outpouring of love and compassion. In her darkest moments, when the weight of her son's suffering seemed too much to bear, these messages of hope and encouragement gave her the strength to carry on. As Mason's physical recovery progressed, Kourtney began to see glimpses of the vibrant, resilient young man she knew and loved. Despite the challenges, he was determined to regain his independence and reclaim his life. One particularly poignant moment came during a physical therapy session when Mason, with the aid of a prosthetic leg, took his first tentative steps. Kourtney watched, tears streaming down her face, as her son navigated the parallel bars with a look of pure determination. "I did it, Mom," Mason exclaimed, his face breaking into a triumphant grin. "I knew I could do it." Kourtney enveloped her son in a fierce embrace, her heart swelling with pride and relief. In that moment, she knew that Mason's spirit had not been broken, that he would emerge from this ordeal stronger and more resilient than ever before. Inspired by her son's unwavering courage, Kourtney began to reevaluate her own priorities and perspective. She realized that the superficial concerns that had once consumed her, the endless social events, the pressure to maintain a perfect public image, paled in comparison to the challenges her family was now facing.